This is the Brownstone Center News Update for Wednesday evening, your evening edition of the Brownstone Brief, November 12th, 2025. Let's go ahead and get some news together, shall we? Couple things that you need to know. The government shutdown is getting ready to vote, so the House vote is imminent. Washington is actually bracing for a dramatic night on Capitol Hill as the House prepares to vote on a continuing resolution that could end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Now, the continuing resolution, or the CR, would temporarily fund the government through January 30th of 2026 and provide a full year budget for key agencies such as Veteran Affairs, Agriculture, and the legislative branch. But tucked inside are several controversial riders, including a hemp product ban, a $500,000 payout clause for senators whose phone records were seized during the January 6th investigation, and no guaranteed extension of the Affordable Care Act premium subsidies. Speaker Mike Johnson faces pressure from both sides. House Democrats want a clean bill that restores health care subsidies, while some Republicans are furious over the secret provisions. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to continue limiting SNAP or food aid payments, leaving millions of families uncertain when benefits will resume. In China, a section of newly opened bridge collapsed just months after inauguration, raising concerns about infrastructure safety standards. Prosecutors in Ukraine have launched a corruption probe into senior officials tied to the state nuclear agency Energoatom, signaling new political instability. Thousands of citizens in Romania filled Bucharest streets protesting austerity policies and inflation, chanting, "We can't live on promises." From Europe to Asia, rising costs, corruption, and failing infrastructure reflect global economic tension that's also rippling through U.S. markets. The Federal Reserve outlook: economists expect the Fed to cut interest rates again in December, citing a cooling job market and weaker consumer spending. Global stocks climbed on hopes the shutdown will end soon. The FTSE 100 hit an all-time high today. Analysts warned the calm may not last. Inflation remains around 4%, and some experts see a potential correction ahead if Washington's funding chaos drags on. A rate cut could lower mortgage and credit card interest soon, but instability in D.C. still keeps prices unpredictable. Donald Trump is reportedly in crisis mode, calling Republican lawmakers to block a bipartisan House effort to unseal Jeffrey Epstein's records. 4 GOP members, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, and Thomas Massie, have already joined Democrats in supporting the transparency measure. The petition is one signature away from forcing a vote that could release thousands of pages of Epstein-related logs, emails, and visitor records. Newly unsealed emails suggests Trump knew about the girls and spent time with one of Epstein's victims, allegations Trump denies. When the powerful panic, the truth is usually close by, and transparency shouldn't depend on who might be embarrassed. Beyonce dropped a surprise visual from her Renaissance World Tour concert film premiere. Streaming platforms crash within hours. Kendrick Lamar's new single, Neighborhood Blues, hits #1 on Apple Music after less than 24 hours. Ava DuVernay announced her next project, a limited series dramatizing the Freedom Summer of 1964, filmed entirely in Mississippi. In Atlanta, Tyler Perry Studios announced expansion plans, including a Black Film Archive Museum and Youth Training Center. Tonight's theme across all stories is power, money, and access. In Washington, a bill to reopen the government hides giveaways for senators and bans for small business owners. In a world, corruption and cost of living pressures push people into the streets. In culture, artists and entrepreneurs are still building power from the ground up. So while the headlines shift, it seems, today by the hour, the question remains: who's writing the rules and who's living by them? For more news and information that you can always use, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. We'll see you around.